Good morning, students. In this video, I shall discuss the most important chapter of class 10, that is your life processes. And in this life processes chapter, we shall discuss the four important topics, that is your nutrition, respiration, then transport and excretion. These are the four fundamental life processes in living organisms. Then what is life and how this life performs certain activities, or what are the indirect evidences of this life? Now we shall discuss in this chapter. But whenever any organism which performs these activities, then only we can say that they are living. Otherwise, they are considered to be non-living. So that is why these fundamental life processes are very much important for the students, because they have to understand all these fundamental processes of living organisms. In class 10 particularly, these life processes are related to plants and directly human beings. Other animals are not considered here. So that is why you must know what is life and how this life actually involves these different processes. Now here we shall start with the first topic, that is your nutrition. And in this chapter we shall discuss the roadmap part. Then what is to be taught or what is to be studied in this chapter? According to the objective, we have to give some idea about the nutrition, then how different modes of nutrition occurs in the organism. So that is why before studying this, the most important thing that every topic has its own terminology, because in our biology, the terminologies are very much important because they are derived either from Latin or Greek words. So that is why sometimes the students confuse about the terminology, about the definitions. So that is why first of all the student must acquaint themselves with the new terminology involved in the process of nutrition. Suppose it is what is nutrition, what are nutrients, what are the autotrophic nutrients or autotrophic nutrition, then the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, photoautotrophic mode of nutrition, like that. There are so many terminology which are involved in this chapter or in this topic particularly. So that is why in first video I shall discuss the different terminologies involved with this particular nutrition topic. Then the next, what is nutrition? The process of obtaining and utilizing the food material is called nutrition. Then every organism, they have their unique modes of nutrition. But can we study each and every modes of nutrition of each and every individual one by one? No. So that is why there are some important modes of nutrition. So basically the nutrition or the modes of nutrition are two types, that is called autotrophic mode of nutrition and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In case of autotrophic mode of nutrition, normally it occurs in the plants which have the chlorophyll pigments in their body. That is why they can synthesize their own food materials and they remain in a particular position throughout their life without moving here and there, because they can prepare their own food material. So that is the autotrophic mode of nutrition. But in case of animals, look, different animals, they move here and there in search of food every day. Whenever they wake up, they start for searching of the food. And if they will get the food, then only they continue their life. If any animal they will not get their food, they will die. So that is why the tiger always move in search of a deer. If it will not find any deer, then it may die. So that is why the nutrition is very much important for the animals. It is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And in this heterotrophic mode of nutrition, normally the animals, they derive their food from other organisms, either by feeding them, by killing them, or by taking the dead materials, or by taking the other plant materials, whatever may be. That is the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So that is why this autotrophic mode of nutrition, again, it may be your phototrophic mode of nutrition when light is the source of energy. Sometimes some lower organisms, they also prepare their food materials, but the source of energy is not the light, but some chemical energy is utilized, like your sulfur bacteria. So that is why these are called the autotrophic mode of nutrition, and the organisms are called autotrophs. But there are the animals which are heterotroph, or the mode of nutrition is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And there are different types of heterotrophic mode of nutrition we shall discuss here. Then what are these different types of heterotrophic mode of nutrition? That is the parasitic mode of nutrition. In case of parasitic mode of nutrition, some parasites live in the body of the host. Suppose the plasmodium remain inside our body, some lice stick, they are ectoparasites, some are endoparasites. So when they live in the body or on the body of other organisms and derive their food from them, that the mode of nutrition is called parasitic mode of nutrition. So there are so many parasites, they may be obligatory or without, they live there in the body of others, they cannot survive, that is called obligatory parasites. Sometimes they are temporary in nature, facultative parasites. So whatever may be the obligatory or facultative, but they derive their food from other organisms by living in or living on their body. Now, there are some organisms that derive their food from dead and decaying matter. So this mode of nutrition is called your saprotrophic mode of nutrition. Mostly the fungus, the bacteria, the mushrooms, they derive their food from dead and decaying plants and animals. So this mode of nutrition is called saprotrophic mode of nutrition. And another, the most important mode of heterotrophic nutrition, that is your hologenic nutrition. And this mode of nutrition is observed in the higher animals like human being, lion, tiger, even in the amoeba. Now, this hologenic mode of nutrition is normally taking the complex food material from the nature. And if the food material is complex one, then how can it will be utilized? Unless and otherwise it will be simplified. It cannot be utilized. So that is why the food materials which are taken in insoluble and complex form, they must be soluble and simpler form. Then only it can be utilized. So that is why in the hologenic mode of nutrition, there are 5 important steps we shall study in detail. This is called your ingestion, intake of food material from the outside into the body. And of course, the modes of ingestion are different for the different animals. Next, after the taking of the food material, the next step is the digestion. Then what is digestion? In case of digestion, what happens? The breaking down of complex and insoluble food materials into simpler and soluble form with the help of enzymes. Now, this process is called digestion. Now, whether it is a physical breakdown only? No. There is actually the chemical breakdown also occurs simultaneously. When we are grinding with the teeth, that is a physical breakdown, no doubt. But when the enzymes are involved, the starch is normally converted into sugar. So this is a chemical breakdown. So physical and chemical breakdown occurs during this process, and the complex and insoluble food materials are converted into simpler and soluble form. And then next step, after the digestion, they are absorbed into the blood circulation and transported throughout the body. That process is called absorption. After the absorption of the food material into the blood, they are transported to each and every cell of the body, and they are utilized for different purposes. For example, suppose it is carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, as we know, it is the energy giving food. So carbohydrate, when it is broken down, it is converted into finally the simple monosaccharides of the sugar molecule. And these sugar molecules, they are now utilized for releasing of the energy by the process of respiration, utilizing the oxygen. Now, next, suppose we are taking the protein food, it is digested. After digestion, it converted into the amino acid molecule. And these amino acid molecules are utilized for the growth of the body. And the fats molecule, They are utilized for releasing energy for the bodybuilding materials like that. So there are minerals and vitamins. These are also utilized for the protection of our body, for the construction of the different parts of our body. The calcium required for the bone and teeth, iron required for the formation of the RBC like that. This is the utilization or the assimilation of the digested and absorbed food material. After that, are whatever food materials taken into the body digested? No. Some food material are not digested or they cannot be digested by us. So, whenever we are taking the food, the part of the food material are digested. After digestion, it is absorbed. After absorbed, it is assimilated. It is utilized. But some of the part of the food material remain undigested. And if it is not digested, it cannot be absorbed. If it is not absorbed, it cannot be utilized. Then, what can we do with them? Because they become the waste. So that is why the undigested food materials which are to be removed from the body of the organism. So that is why the process of removal of the undigested food material from the body of the organism, it is called egestion. So these are the 5 important steps of hologeneic nutrition. That is ingestion, then next digestion, after digestion absorption, then assimilation, and finally egestion. So we must discuss in detail about all these steps. Now after that, this type of nutrition, of course, it is autotrophic or heterotrophic, or it is parasitic, saprotropic or hologenic. But now, how nutrition occurs in case of plant, or normally you can say green plants. Why green plant? Because the plants, they contain the green pigment called the chloroplast. And the chloroplast, it is a type of plastid which is a green pigment. It contains the material for the process of photosynthesis. Then what is this photosynthesis? Photo means light, synthesis means putting together, as we have already studied in our junior classes. Then how this photosynthesis occurs in the plant? What are the raw materials required for this process? It may be your light, it may be your carbon dioxide, it may be your chlorophyll pigment, it may be water. So these are the raw materials. And the site of photosynthesis, that is the chloroplast pigment, which is present there in the green parts of the plant, mostly in the leaves. So there are so many other plastids like your chromoplast, leucoplast, but the chloroplast, which contains the stroma, grana inside it, and it is the site for photosynthesis. Now, how this photosynthesis process occurs? What are the different phases of photosynthesis? It is consists of 2 important phases: the light dependent phase, where light is utilized, and the most important molecules like your ATP molecule, the energy source. Another is the NADPH2 molecule. These are synthesized by utilizing the sunlight. So this phase is called light dependent phase, and it occurs in the grana of the chloroplast, in the thylakoid membrane of the chloroplast. After that, the NADPH2 molecule and the ATP molecule, these are transported to the stroma region, and where the Calvin cycle occurs, and the glucose molecule is synthesized from the carbon dioxide by using the enzymes there. So that is why this process is the most important process in the living system. And without photosynthesis, no light energy can be converted into chemical form of energy. So that is why this is the only process in the earth, or it is the only biological process by which the solar radiation or solar energy get converted into the chemical form of energy and incorporated into the living system. And when it is entered into the plant, from the plant it is transported into the animal, from the animal to the another animal, that is the carnivore and the top level carnivore. So that is why the photosynthesis is the process by which solar energy get converted into the chemical form of energy and incorporated into the living system. So that is why this process is considered to be the most important life process in the earth. Now, after that, we shall discuss the how nutrition occurs in case of animal. And the example, we shall take here the simplest animal, that is your amoeba. And this amoeba also performs the hologenic mode of nutrition, although it is an unicellular organism. Still that, it performs the hologenic mode of nutrition. It takes the complex and insoluble food material, but it takes into the body by the phagocytosis, forming the food vacuole, and inside the food vacuole it secretes the enzyme and it digests the complex food into the simpler form. Then it is absorbed inside the body, then it is transported or it is assimilated there. After that it is utilized, and the undigested parts of the food, they are removed from the food vacuole to the outside. So in this way, amoeba perform its mode of nutrition, that is called hologenic mode of nutrition. So we shall discuss it here. Now next one, the most important phase of the nutrition, that is the nutrition of human being or nutrition in human being. But the nutrition in human being we shall study in two phases. The first one, the system, because a particular system is essential for this process. Now this is called the digestive system, or you can say the nutrition system. Then what is the digestive system? The digestive system, it consists of number of organs, or the organs which are involved in the process of nutrition, collectively known as the digestive system. Because in a system there are a number of component parts, and all these component parts, they function together in a holistic manner. So that is why this digestive system we shall discuss in detail, starting from your alimentary canal and the digestive gland. The alimentary canal consists of your mouth, vocal cavity, esophagus, then the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, etc. So these are the different parts of the digestive system. Then there are some important glands involved here, like your liver, the largest gland in our body, which secretes the bile, and how this bile helps in the digestion of the food material. Then salivary gland is there in the vocal cavity, and three pairs of salivary glands that secrete the saliva. Then how the saliva contains the amylase enzyme, and how it gets digested the starch into sugar or maltose. Then inside the stomach, the digestive juice is there, that is called gastric juice. Gastric juice contains the hydrochloric acid, pepsin, renin, then gastric lipase, etc. And they help in the digestion of the food materials there. Then after stomach, next we shall study the part of the small intestine. It is your duodenum, then the jejunum, then the ileum, then the last part is the rectum. So these are the parts of the alimentary canal. After that, the digestive glands like the liver, then the pancreas. The pancreas, another important gland which secretes the pancreatic juice. It contains number of enzymes. It also helps in the digestion of the food material into the simpler form. After that, that is the ileum, jejunum. In the ileum, it is the site for absorption of the digested food matter. It contains the finger-like processes like villi, and they absorb them, and it increases the surface area for the absorption. Now, last part of the alimentary canal, that is your rectum, where the undigested food materials get stored and excess water is reabsorbed and these are removed to the outside through the anus. Now, next one, after the completion of the study of this nutrition system or human digestive system, next, how the process of digestion occurs inside the body of the human being. We shall study in detail about it. Now, here what happens, suppose we are taking the food material contains the carbohydrate, protein, fat, mineral, vitamin, whatever may be. But the food is the cheapest source of nutrients. Our body needs the nutrients, and whatever may be the food we are taking, they get converted into the nutrients. And these nutrients are now normally utilized by our body. So here, how this digestion or how this mechanism of digestion occurs here, on the basis of the different types of food, on the basis of the parts of the digestive system. Suppose in case of buccal cavity, what type of digestion occurs and what are the enzymes involved there? The amylase is there, starch is normally digested there. But when the food enters into the stomach, what are the different enzymes involved there and what is the role of the HCl, what is the role of the mucus, what is the role of the pepsin, renin and gastric lipase, and how they get digested there inside the stomach, and how the chyme is formed and how it passes to the duodenum through the pyloric constriction. And after that the next part is the duodenum, and what type of digestion occurs there in the duodenum. The liver secretes the bile. Bile is stored there in the gallbladder. From the gallbladder, the bile is transported to the duodenum. And what is the role of bile? How it emulsifies the fat and how it converts the medium into alkaline. And what is the need of medium to convert into alkaline? Because the enzymes act only in the alkaline medium. Now, another important gland, the pancreas. The pancreas secretes the enzymes like your trypsin, chymotrypsin, pancreatic amylase, pancreatic lipase, etc. And these enzymes are also directly poured into the duodenum. And the food gets digested by these enzymes. After that, the next part, that is the jejunum and ileum, where the digested food materials are absorbed and transported to the different parts of the body. So that is why here we shall discuss in detail about the mechanism of digestion of carbohydrate, how it is digested, digestion of the proteins, how it is digested in stomach and other parts, and the fat. So these are the three important nutrients which are to be digested there. Now next one, after the digestion, they are normally absorbed and utilized. So here, in this process, the most important thing is that whatever food we eat, this is the source of nutrients, but our body needs the nutrients, particularly whether it is a very small amoeba or it is a human being. But every organism, they need the nutrients for their survival, like the carbohydrate, protein, fat, mineral, vitamin, even raw phase and water. These are also essential for our body. And by this process, we take all these things and we utilize them for the different activities in our body. But sometimes what happens, due to deficiency of certain nutrients, some problems occur in our body. These are called the deficiency diseases. For example, suppose there is deficiency of the carbohydrate or protein, then it is called protein energy malnutrition, PEM, kwashiorkor, marasmus. These are the diseases which occur in the young children. Then when there will be deficiency of certain minerals, like your anemia, like your osteomalacia, rickets, these are the deficiency diseases related to mineral. There are some vitamin deficiency diseases also occur. Due to deficiency of vitamin A, the night blindness occurs. Beriberi due to vitamin B, scurvy due to vitamin C, rickets due to vitamin D, and vitamin K also important for this process, and it helps in blood clotting. So like that, if there will be deficiency of these minerals or vitamins or carbohydrate, protein, fats, etc., there are certain problems occurs in our body. Sometimes there is certain imbalance in the hormone, like your insulin, the diabetes occur. So diabetes is nothing but the imbalance in the sugar level in the blood. We have to maintain a particular sugar level in our blood. If the sugar level will increase, then it causes harm to our body. So this type of problems related to the nutrition we shall study. And sometimes what happens, this dental caries, suppose the teeth, tongue, these are also part of our nutrition system. And this due to problem in the teeth, that is the dental caries, how it occurs, what bacteria actually involved with this, and how they cause the problem with the teeth. So we shall study all these things in detail. So that is why this is the roadmap of this chapter or this topic nutrition, and we shall discuss in detail one by one, phase by phase, so that you will be able to understand each and every part of it, and you can answer or you can write your answer in a clear way, in a precise way, so that you can score good mark in your examination. Now, I hope this is the first video for this topic, and hope this will be useful for you. And if it is really useful for you, then please like it and subscribe for further videos. Thank you.